So I've been using the Apple Watch Series 10 for 3 months now, ever since its release, and I gotta say, as someone who's flip-flopping between the Series 10 and the Ultra, I'm pretty impressed. Now I want to kick things off with the design. I went with the aluminum jet black 46mm, and of course, as you know it, the Ultra is a 49mm. I want the biggest Apple Watch with the most pixels so I can see the text larger, notifications, everything. My activity rings, that's why I went with the larger size, but I can understand why it looks kind of big on my wrist, especially seeing the Ultra. This looks huge. The aluminum jet black finish is the most interesting model in particular, just because for the first time ever, we can get a shiny, glossy Apple Watch without going to the stainless steel, or in this case, the titanium finish. So you're saving a bit of money while keeping that glossy finish intact for just $399, or in this case $430 for the larger size. Now if you guys can remember, with the iPhone 7, that was also offered in jet black, and with that material is aluminum, so what they do, they just polish up the aluminum to make it more shiny, but it is more prone to scratches. And I don't know about you guys, this is going to be on your wrist, so you're going to be constantly dinging this up. This is going to be more exposed opposed to your phone being in your pocket, so you may want to take some sort of caution when getting this material. But in my case here, I cannot see anything. It looks brand new even 3 months later, so no complaints there at all. And if they are there, it's very, very hard to see it. But of course, if you go with the more premium material, such as the titanium model or even the Ultra, it's more scratch resistance. It's a little bit harder to scratch opposed to the aluminum. But another con would have to be the X iron glass on the aluminum Apple Watches. It has that X iron glass, which isn't that good. It's gonna be more prone to scratches. It's gonna be, more likely to shatter maybe if you're not careful with it. And that is where the more premium Apple Watches come into play, such as the titanium or even the Ultra. So that glass is very, very important. As someone who owns the Series 5 aluminum and even the original OG Apple Watch, those scratch so easily that you guys are gonna look at that screen and be like, oh, this is not, you can't sell this. Versus a stainless steel Apple Watch with that sapphire crystal, the glass looked brand spanking new. And that's the best thing about the sapphire crystal. Even though I had it for 3-4 years, getting into 4 years since the original Ultra, this thing still looks brand spanking new. And that's the best thing about the sapphire crystal. But 3 months in, the screen is still looking nice and shiny here, but give it some time, let's say a year, you're probably gonna find some micro scratches, more than likely. So a screen protector is recommended, and even a bumper case too, just to protect the chassis. But in my use case, no problems at all. But like I said, I've been flip-flopping between the Series 10 and the Ultra. And speaking of design, this is Apple's thinnest and lightest Apple Watch ever, significantly reducing the depth, and is also the largest display on any Apple Watch, even larger than the Ultra. The screen is beautiful, that OLED, everything, the viewing angles is beautiful. But when I compare it to the Series 7, my last regular Apple Watch, I noticed the bezels are thinner on the 7 opposed to the 10. I noticed that and I was like, ah. So yes, even though Apple claiming that this has the larger display and is thin and everything, technically speaking, the Series 7 has the thinnest bezel Apple Watch. So keep that in mind. And also too, just like my watch face, I think my favorite watch face has to just be the photos. I just love how all the photos just cycle through. But on the side note too, I actually like the promo watch faces that they have, but I'm more of a complication kind of guy. I like to be able to activate different things while being on my watch face. So setting the temperature on my Apple Watch, or controlling my Apple TV, or starting a workout, or looking at my activity rings. I like to see useful information right on my watch face, but just going off an aesthetics, I love just the photos, just seeing the pictures is just always nice. But as you can see in my Ultra, I always just have a bunch of complications and things that's useful. Now, one thing I noticed right away, when I was pinging my iPhone, it gives you a precision tracking. Like, I like that. I actually do like that. So if I cannot find my phone, you can actually use your Apple Watch to track your phone. So if it's in between the couch, underneath the bed, whatever the case may be, you can easily track your iPhone. And it's just use that U1 precision tracking. it's amazing. Now the Series 10 also has a new depth and water temperature sensor. So now I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I do not swim at all. I do want to learn how to swim going into 2025. I think everybody should learn how to swim at some point, but that's just something that I don't do yet. So it's something that I'm probably gonna test out later on. But using the Ultra, when I was going to Florida, I did dive. It is nice that the Apple Watch can even detect that. So I tested out my Ultra, but I'm sure it's gonna work fine on the Series 10. But just out of the 3 months of having this, the weather's been cold and everything, I haven't been around water. I haven't been around the sea or the pool or anything like that, but I'm sure it works. All right, let me tell you guys something. I'm pretty much a basic Apple Watch user. I use it to check the time, check my notifications. I do use my watch to control my thermostat in my room, turn on and off the lights, and more importantly, and this is probably the most intensive task, starting workouts. So when you start a workout, it's constantly checking your heart rate, it's checking to see if you're moving or still active. So it is using the sensors periodically to track your everything, your heart rate and everything, and your calories. And that's pretty much it. I don't use my watch for nothing else. There's a new feature here where you could be able to play music on your Apple Watch for the first time. While that is nice, I would never find myself using that just because I'm always have my AirPods, always have my iPhone. So your iPhone speaker is gonna be louder, but it is nice to have. A lot of these features is just nice to have, but it's something that I really don't use at a day-to-day. And actually, another intensive task technically is sleep tracking. So about 4 years now, getting into 4 years, I've been wearing my Apple Watch when I go to bed just to use sleep tracking, and it works really well. So just want to make sure my sleep is going good. I have a nice healthy sleep. So with the new watchOS 11 update, you have sleep apnea notifications. Thankfully, I didn't get any notifications, so that means my sleep is good. But you guys can just see here on the charts, I've been tracking my sleeps and the Apple Watch is pretty good. And that's a perfect transition to talk about battery life. I'm happy to report that the battery life on the Series 10 is excellent. Now, usually I start my day around like 8:30 in the morning, brush my teeth, wash my face, and I head to the gym. Put my Apple Watch Series 10 on, drive to the gym, start my workout, bada boom, bada bing. Depending on the day, it's different body parts that I work on, chest one day, back one day, and just throughout just working out and just wearing the Apple Watch, it's been real comfortable. One of the things I noticed, it is a lot lighter compared to the Ultra. The Series 10 is about 50 grams while the Ultra is 100. So they both light, but it is lighter on the Series 10. So if weight is a concern for you, you might want to get the Series 10. By the way, this band that I have is from Pitaka. It's maybe not the most ideal band to wear all day, but it's pretty comfortable enough and it looks aesthetically pleasing, matches perfect with the jet black material. After an hour working out, I head back home. Sometimes I do some side quests, see this one, see that one, but for the most part, I head back home and I'm still wearing my Apple Watch. I wear my Apple Watch for the entire day. Now, periodically I film the battery life just to update you guys, just impressed, really just super impressed. Now, in terms of showering, usually I don't shower with my Apple Watch, but I had to test out the water test just to show you guys the water resistance. But usually I take off my Apple Watch when I'm about to shower and then I put it right back on. And then it's basically fast forward to everything. When it's time to call it a night, I keep my Apple Watch on to test out the sleep tracking. And I woke up the next day, I kid you guys not, the Apple Watch is still alive. Now, it's at 24%, going from 100% at 8 a.m. and lasting all the way up until the next day. Granted, my always on is enabled, but it is disabled once sleep tracking is enabled, once you have your sleep mode on. So give or take, it does help out with the battery life during my sleep, but it is still impressive nonetheless that the battery life lasts all the way up to the next day. 24% at this point on, it is ideal to charge it so you have a full day, but I wanted to keep it going. I wanted to work out further to see how long the battery life will last. And also, the Series 10 has the fastest charging of any Apple Watch. So you could charge to 80% in 30 minutes. So that is pretty impressive. It has a larger coil on the back, so you don't even need a charging brick or anything. So Give or take, if you wake up, you're at 24%, you can quickly charge the Series 10 in 30 minutes. So in 30 minutes, you're brushing your teeth, you're washing your face, potentially you're gonna shower. In this case, I don't shower in the morning. I work out first, wait until I get home, and then shower. But by the time you do everything, you check your emails, you do your morning routines, your Apple Watch is gonna be at 80%. Now, that is pretty good. Now, comparing that to the Ultra, yes, the Ultra would have probably been at 50%, so it would have been enough to last the entire day. The next day, like, let me tell you, when the Ultra came out, this lasts for 2 days. I can confidently wear this for 2 days and it'll be okay. But nowadays, the battery life is degrading. And that's the sad reality of any electronic device. The battery will degrade. It will get worse throughout time, and it's not gonna be the battery champion that you once thought it was. Now, easy fix, you can just replace the battery and call it a day, but I'm gonna leave it just that, just so you guys can see how just thin the battery can be. I made an entire video on the Ultra already. Make sure you guys watch it. I throw a link in the description. So I say all of that just to say that yes, the battery life is good now, but give it some time. It might not even last the next day. You will probably have to charge halfway through the day of that first day. So that's something that I'm gonna have to report on in the next couple of months. I actually was thinking about giving this to a friend and going back to the Ultra. And it's not to say that the Series 10 is a bad watch. You just get so used to the Ultra. I miss the brighter display. I miss the action button. I miss just the ease of mind that I have a sapphire crystal on my Apple Watch. Once you go with that sapphire crystal on the premium models, such as the titanium or the Ultra, it is hard to go back to aluminum with that X iron glass. You just feel vulnerable. You're vulnerable to scratches, and any little thing is gonna scratch the display. I'm telling you guys, it's worth every penny to go with a more premium model. And of course, you have your little nitpick features. This has a better water resistance, so you can deep dive deeper into the water with this one. But other than that, I just love the way how the Ultra looks, and especially with my titanium band. Like this color, I love this titanium color because it goes good on pretty much any outfit that you throw at it. Black is cool, it's sleek, it's nice, but certain outfits that you have on, it might not flow as good as, like, just say having my Ultra, but both watches are fantastic. So all of that being said, should you go out and buy the Series 10, or should you buy an older Apple Watch or another model? Now, the Series 10 is just a bit of a weird one. It's light on features, but it's still a fantastic Apple Watch. It's an Apple Watch that you know and love, but just better. Faster processor, more features. It's a better Apple Watch. But it's not to say that the Series 9 is bad, or the Series 8, or even the Series 7 for that matter. And you can get those at a reasonable price now. And even, for crying out loud, the Apple Watch SE is still a great Apple Watch. And for the things that I'm trying to do, such as just starting workouts and sleep tracking and everything, the Apple Watch SE can do it perfectly fine. Only thing I'm missing is the EKG, the blood oxygen, the always on display. The screen is brighter on this, and yes, it is a bigger display, but other than that, it's still an Apple Watch. And that's what you guys got to think of. It's an Apple Watch at the end of the day. Well, if you go with the Ultra, Series 10, it's still an Apple Watch. I think it just comes down to just the materials of the watch, so that would help with the longevity of it. Yes, you could put a glass screen protector on there and call it a day, or even some sort of case, but you know, you gotta keep on buying the cases, keep on buying the screen protectors, and that is cool, but you want something that will just like last. And I just love the naked feel of just having the watch on, just on my wrist, you know, not worrying about having a case or anything like that. You could put a clear case, but you could easily tell. Yes, it is a good buy, but keep an eye on the Series 9 or the Series 8, and especially if you can get a stainless steel one with that sapphire crystal. So I think going with either the Series 7, Series 8, or Series 9 is ideal, especially the stainless steel model, and you're saving a couple of dollars at that. But if you want to just get the SE, that would be perfectly fine too, to save even more cash, considering that the SE is going to run only about $200 through Best Buy. So you just got to look at just the dollar for dollar value. But other than that, the Series 10 is a fantastic buy, and it's something I recommend. It's just a matter of how much are you willing to spend. Because if it was up to me, I'll go with the Ultra. The Ultra, you're getting the better battery life, but it is a bit big. It might be bulky for some too as well, so just keep in mind on that. But other than that, the Series 10 is good.